One of the parts of gardening that many of us kind of don't pay much attention to are the tools of our trade. These guys that I've got here, which I'm giving a spin, are the premium range from Garden Master. Stainless steel, wooden handles, ergonomic, nice and comfy, grip for your fingers with a 2-year guarantee. So let's check them out. Right now, I'm loving it. Today, I'm gonna be potting up a sun-hardy container which is going to last for months and years to come. The secret to a successful container is, of course, of what we put in it. So right here, I've got some premium potting soil from Builders. This is the good stuff. It's got everything in here already. I'm using my little hand trowel just to mix it in, and it's such a simple tool, but is so essential. And when you're choosing one, make sure that it feels right. You know, it's got to have a comfortable grip. It's got to be well balanced, which is why I always prefer ones that have metal or stainless steel as the actual working mechanism, because that's about balance. I find personally that if things are too lightweight, I kind of feel a bit disconnected from them. The next thing you're going to need, of course, is your pot. Now, go for what suits your budget, what's going to fit in with the look and feel of your home, and of course, size and proportion is really important to consider about what you're going to be putting in it. In it, of course, what we've done is we've taken a little piece of shade cloth, cut it to size, and we're just popping that over the base. It's not covering the drainage holes, but what the shade cloth does is stops the little soil particles from falling through. It's so nifty, quick and simple. All right, plants of choice. We've got an opportunity to put quite a few in, what we call a potting recipe. It's where we combine plants that enjoy the similar types of conditions, so in other words, either full sun or semi-shade. And in this case, we're going with beautiful aloes. We've got a bracteantha, which is a little paper flower, one of the cordylines, which is a grass, and a coreopsis. Right, so next step is really easy. All we're gonna do is start adding our soil into our container. Never ever fill it all the way to the top. Big mistake. Fill it up halfway with the trug, in it goes. If we don't get that completely right, that's okay. That's why we're making sure that we're using good tools. Right, now that we've got our soil in, I just take my hand and firm it down a bit. And now we're going to go with our plant combinations. Going into the center, I've got a beautiful aloe. And although this is a round pot, I'm not putting it in the middle. No, this big guy is going to be going right at the back. Okay, there we go. And immediately you can see portion. So we want that height within the pot. Now that we've done that, we can automatically see that these plants are in much smaller containers. So we need more soil in here. And as we're filling in, take your hand trowel and then just feed the soil in a bit. Way easier than trying to get your hand in there. And that's where the simplest little trowel does the job. Next up, we're going to go with one of my fillers. And the fillers is this little cordyline. So let's get this baby out. And he's going to be one of our fillers. Now, this is a really good example. Let me show you something here, guys. This is a very compacted plant. Look at the soil here. Now, of course, we could do one of two things. We could start breaking it up with our fingers. We could also take something as simple as a little fork. This is the premium fork, and all we're gonna do, look at that, just put it in. As I'm doing it, you'll notice I'm not breaking any of the roots. If I had to do this by hand and try and pull it off, there are a whole lot of the roots. Okay, so we're taking our little 3-pronged fork, and all I'm doing is teasing some of the soil off. Beautiful roots exposed, just what I need, and my filler is going to get popped in right over here. My little bracteantha and dwarf aloe are going to be added in exactly the same way. The premium fork is also my go-to when doing little bits of gardening. So if I've prepared an area, laying some compost on it and need to get it worked in, especially in narrow, small, confined spaces, it really does the job. When adding fertilizer, simply around your veggie garden. You can then incorporate it very gently using this little premium fork without disturbing any of the plants. Other must-have tools which are really your go-to, guys, is the little premium weeder. Now this guy, it's got the little prong in the front, and then you'll notice a curved backing, which means that when you are weeding in the lawn, taking out weeds with a long taproot, it makes it so much easier with minimal disturbance of the soil and the existing lawn around it. The 3-prong cultivator is a whiz when it comes to getting rid of small weeds that have just germinated in amongst other plants. And you can really get in there without disturbing the plants. For breaking up tough soil or soil that has got a little crust on the top, use a 3-prong cultivator to simply pull it and break it up. It's also really good if you want to remove leaves and other debris in between plants. So there we have it, a beautiful container. Just finishing it off, guys, by adding in and filling in all these little gaps. Notice that I haven't filled the soil all the way to the top of the pot. There still is about a 1 to 2 centimeter gap, which means that when I water it, it's going to capture the water and not let it spill over. I'm making sure that I am not using my hands to try and put the soil in there. I'm using the tools of my trade, which is why I go on about making sure you've got the right tools that you are equipped with in order to make gardening a whole lot easier and probably a whole lot more fun. Looking beautiful. Now, I've just got to go to find a space of where I can put it in a beautiful spot right on the gravel. Finally, a really good watering to settle everything in. In terms of maintenance, a good feeding of a liquid plant food every 2 weeks. And those flowers that are going over, simply just nip them off. So there it is, guys, a beautiful container in the right spot, and it was made super easy because I had the right tools. And I know that you might not, and you might not have invested in them, but the tools of our trade make gardening a whole lot easier and a whole lot more fun. Certainly like the premium hand tool range from Garden Master. All of which are available at your local Builders store or online at builders.co.za. Remember to visit the blog and the website for more great content, and get to Builders and get it done.